In this video, I'm going to discuss a new feature called multiple motifs. This is a new feature that's going to be in the next release. I'm going to first start drawing just a circle so I can show you some motifs in a simple object. So we have the circle drawn, and we choose Motif Fill in the toolbar. And what you get is you get a new menu. It still has the same motifs listed as thumbnails here, but there's some extra buttons and features. So with the new multiple motif feature, we have single motif mode and multiple motif mode. Single motif mode is the same mode as currently in the software. So if you were going to go ahead and select the motif you like, I will select one that I like. There we go. Diagonal dots. So the diagonal dots, you can see that I don't have alternate columns or connection paths drawn, and you can see the lines returning for each row. So if we turn on alternate columns and press update, it should do what we normally do for motifs, alternate columns. We also have set offset just like we had before, but additionally we have connection paths and flip stitch pattern in this menu. So this is pretty much similar to what you've already seen in the past. We have some buttons here to pan left and right so you can get the image in the window that you want, etc. But what's really neat about the new feature is the multiple motifs. So in multiple motifs, you get a table where you add the motifs you want. So we've already in single, that's already in the memory, so we're going to just hit add, and you can see that now we have a category for that. We're going to press add again, and we're going to get a second diagonal dot stitch pattern. So what we do to do multiple motifs is we just go and we select which one in the table we want to change, and we go ahead and we change the motif by just clicking on it in the thumbnail, and a new motif comes up. You can see now there's two motifs here. Now they're not really spaced that well, so to get them to space differently, you just do the Motif Offset or gap after, which would be the gap after the motif. I'm just going to choose a number. Don't know if it's going to be the best number, but I'm choosing 40. And you can see that it's moving the diagonal dots over by this gap. So we'll use the same gap for the diagonal dots. We'll enter 40. And you'll see that now we have a multiple motif. So there's two different motifs in this, but it can be any number you want. So if we want to go ahead and add another one, we'll do that. And we'll just keep the gap after at 40. And we'll press update. And you'll see that now there's 3. Now we don't have to make that the same. We can go ahead and change that to one of our other motifs. And now we have 3 motifs. There can be any number you want, so you can just keep on adding more motifs if you want. And so in this case, we're going to just choose another one, quilting stitch. It's important that you have clicked the one you want to edit, otherwise you're going to edit one maybe that you don't want to. Okay, so the quilting stitch doesn't have any gap after it. We're going to put 40 down. And now we have 4 motifs. So as a convenience, there's arrows here left and right to allow you to move the motifs one by one. Well, not one by one, but be able to move them just using this button instead. You can see that the gap after is almost gone between the diagonal dots and the quilting stitch. You can also use the Motif Offset to shift them up and down. Now I have the angle of the motif set to 0 just so that it's easy to see the left and right. But these gaps are just after the motif as it's drawn, so with the starting point here, it would go from this side to that side. If it was on an angle, it might be hard to kind of know what's left and right, but just know that it's the gap after the motif. So the motif's drawn, and then there's a gap, and then the next motif will be drawn, and then there's a gap for it, and the next motif will be drawn. We have also here a 3D mode, so you can see the image or the motifs in a 3D mode. You can't really tell much when it's blue, dark blue like this. The pattern scales that you saw that I talked about on Facebook are all here individually for each motif, so they can be changed. We can also flip the direction of the motif, so that one won't really show us much, but if I go to the quilting stitch, which does have a direction, if I click flip direction, this will go to the left instead of the right. So that's pretty much it for the multiple motifs. They're a lot of fun. I think they kind of look like Christmas ornaments, and I think you will enjoy this next release. Thank you very much.